Hey guys, it's Gideon. I really appreciate all the positive feedback on my leveling guide from just a handful of days ago. I did also see in the comments that there were some areas that were heavily contested and maybe just not a great experience to level in, and you guys provided me with some alternatives, which I really love, and I went through and looked at the map and kind of thought about other areas that I thought were good alternatives to some of the spots in the guide as well. So today's video is about showing some of those alternate spots or just other options that you can use when you are leveling your first character or even your alts. If you want to let me know that you like this kind of content and you want to see more of it, some easy free things you can do. You can leave a like, you can leave a comment to get the conversation going, and if you still have not jumped in to play Ashes, you can hop to the description and use my referral link, but any of that stuff is optional. Let's get right into it. So to start with, just to save you time from going back to my previous guide, I'm just going to fly through the list of points of interest that we covered in the first guide. If you're only interested in the new spots, you can skip ahead to the next timestamp. I'll try to keep it as short as I can. But that level 1 to 7, that's just following the new quest experience. Level 7 to 10, or a little bit beyond that, I sent you to the Church of the Seven Stars. After that, over to Highwayman Hills until, let's say, 12, early teens, kind of in that range next, down to Oakenbane Keep, or there's a Minotaur farm in the very northern part of the desert by the water. Then either staying at Oakenbane in some of the higher level areas or heading over to ROS or the Ruins of Cephalion. And then once you're in that level 18-ish range, we went to Citadel of the Steel Bloom. And then kind of those level 20 spots, including staying at Citadel, was the Tower of Carfin, hitting up the crabs by Seahook, and then going to the desert to fight Shardlings, and I think I called out the Prismarium. So let's go into some alternate spots that I think are really good, or in some cases better than some of the original spots that I covered. So for these new or alternate spots, I won't necessarily have B-roll that matches. I'll have gameplay in the background, but I will show the map locations so you can easily find them on the map and then chart a path there yourself. The level 7 to 12 range is probably where I got the most feedback because the Church of the Seven Stars is very popular, which means it can be overcrowded, and some people were hoping that it would give them more experience than they were getting. I can tell you there's a nearby, not settlement, but vendor kind of crafting area where there is a cleric or priest or something like that that gives you a quest, and if you do that whole chain, you can get a nice boost in experience. And there's also a hidden item in the church that on that kind of second level going up the stairs that will give you an interesting quest that can give you some more experience too. I'll let you discover that on your own. Two areas more on the east side of Lionhold that you could lock in at are Cora Lock or the Gem Spring. And I'm going to pull both of those up side by side here so you can see where those locations are. So those are areas where you can grind mobs as an alternative to the church. Now, when you're on, let's say, the higher end of that level range, you could head over towards like south of Jova, but kind of northwest of New Ayla. And there's a place called the Daragal Estates. There's some dangerous mobs in there, so you have to be a little bit more careful. But if you have a group, especially, that area is a good spot where you can finish that level range a little bit quicker. Another spot that was called out by a handful of people was for, let's say, that level 13 to even 18 experience. And that is also over by Seahook, but the beach just to the west of town. There's tons of crabs there that aren't super high level, and with a good group, you can pull a bunch of them and grind really good experience there. Last but not least, I wanted to call out some level 18 and up spots as alternate locations for you guys. And just as a reminder, especially with any of these higher level points of interest, it's really best to do this with a group and a coordinated group, such as joining the guild, the Federation. So head to discord.gg/the Federation. I know the Prismarium that I called out in the first video can be kind of tough, especially if you pull more than the Shardlings. But if you are in the Sunhaven area, there's tons of Shardlings, and in other parts of the desert near there, that with a good group you can pull them together and burn them down and get good experience. The other locations that I want to call out is if we kind of point ourselves back over to the west. If we go north of Seahook, there is the island there, Corin, I believe is how you say it. And there's some very high level, I think they're level 29, 1-star and 2-star crabs. And you can get a ton of experience really quick there, especially if you have a really good tank that knows how to move in a circle and pull a bunch of them. With good mitigation and good healers, you can power through those later levels there. Now, going back over to the desert, there are 2 specific areas that I want to call out where you can farm and kill a bunch of the Najash, which are like Naga-looking characters. So there's the Apothecarium Dread Mine, which is a really good spot. Sometimes that's heavily contested, but also there is a small river where the top of it makes like a donut of water that's to the southwest of the Apothecarium Dread Mine, and it is directly south of what looks like the hand coming out of the desert. And that's another spot that can support probably 2 groups grinding down and getting experience from the Najash there. If you have more or even better spots, definitely continue to share those in the comments. At some point, I would also really love to cover the anvils questing and leveling experience too. If you really love the content and you're looking for a super duper extra way to say thank you, I do have memberships and super thanks enabled, but none of that is necessary. I also do have some shout outs because some of you in the comments, like I said, were very helpful in pointing out some of these points of interest. So I will butcher these, but Devil SR4321, Zitquo, QUO _ 5422, VSG45, and Leah Varg. So thank you to those commenters for providing more points of interest and insight into some of those. And then, because I said when I hit 1K subscribers, I would look at anyone who commented a specific keyword on my full 2-hour level 1 to 7 playthrough. I would pick someone at random who left that keyword in the comments, and I would give them a soul frame key because I don't have any Ashes giveaway stuff yet. I'm hoping that comes sometime in first quarter. But congrats to Garsu X. Really happy that it went to you, so you can try soul frame for free, specifically because you're commenting on videos all the time, and it's super, super appreciated. So that's all I have for today. Until the next one, peace.